Hello, I'm the Gypsy, and I will be your host for Christmas Hearth oil painting tutorial. Now, in the past, when we have done an oil painting tutorial, we have generally stuck with traditional methods of doing the oil painting. However, we're going to reach outside the box today, and we're going to do something a little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to do this one in an impressionistic style, but not just any impressionistic style. What we're going to do is we're going to combine the three styles of three different masters in the Impressionist arts. We're going to combine the short jab pointillism style of Renoir. We're going to incorporate the broad strokes of Monet. And we are going to incorporate the jabs and slashes and heavy paint of Van Gogh. Yes, we're going to try to incorporate all three of those styles into one painting. This is going to be a challenge, but I think it'll be a fun challenge. And Christmas time is a time for fun. It's a time for joy, for laughter. We may get a few laughs out of this, who knows. But I think it'll be a fun thing to do. It'll be something different than what we normally do. Plus, you'll learn some different techniques that you haven't learned now. Not yet, but today you will learn them. So first thing we need to do is we need to go over our supplies, what you are going to need to do this painting. Now, I'm going to talk about the brushes first, and the reason why I'm going to talk about the brushes first is because we're not going to use any modern configured brushes. We're going to use brushes similar to what Renoir, Monet, and Van Gogh used. We're not going to use fancy fan brushes. We're not going to use specialized brushes for this or that. We're going to use basic brushes like they use. So let me show you what we're using, and you can get yours together. So these brushes right here, they are all what's called bristle brushes. They are horsehair. They're not synthetic. They're horsehair bristles. We are going to use a wide number 12, and I'm going to set that right there for now. We are going to use, this is a number 6 wide. We're going to use that. This one here, this is a number 6 round. You can see how it's rounded there on the tip. We'll be using that one. This one here, the smaller one right here, this is a number 8 round. Notice the long taper on it. See how it's tapered? Okay. That's a round brush, but it's also known as a taper. This one right here is a number 10 flat. You can see it's a little bit smaller than the larger one, but bigger than the middle's one. This is a 3/8 flat. And this one right here, like this one here, this is a number 4 round flat end. It's not perfectly round, see? It's got a flat end on it. Those are the brushes we're going to be using. These are brushes similar to what the artists from the Impressionistic era, like in Paris, where Van Gogh, Monet, and Renoir were at. This is the type of brushes that they used. Van Gogh, when he started kind of losing his grip on things, when he had his issues, his mental issues, he used, where's it at? I just laid it down. He used a brush like this, and he used a brush like this one a lot. These were probably two of his major brushes right here that he used. The thing about the Impressionists is they didn't spend a lot of time on paintings. They did them quickly. They were done quickly, they were done with them, and they moved on to the next thing. During June of 1890, for instance, Van Gogh did almost a painting a day. A painting a day. Think about that. That's mind-boggling. Okay? 30 days, 30 paintings. They worked quick. And that's what we're going to do with this one. We're going to work quick. So now you know what type of brushes we're going to use. You will need mineral spirits. I use odorless mineral spirits. They're the best thing to use if you don't want to stink up your house. Also, you will need containers for those mineral spirits. I love this container here because it has places for brushes right here. You can see, if you look on the inside here, you can see those ridges in there. They help clean your brush out when you're cleaning your brush. And then they have these areas over here where you can kind of swipe your brush back and forth to get all the little residue out of it. So I use this one a lot. This is the only one I have. I wish I could find another one of these, and maybe someday I will. They make similar ones. They're square and different shapes and what have you, but I really like this round one. So if you see one out there, let me know so I can buy it, okay? Then you're going to need another container. I use a little glass jelly jar here. This is kind of for holding your brushes. I'll put a little mineral spirits in here, but this will be for holding the brushes in between usage. So there's your mineral spirit. There's your brushes. Of course, you're going to need a canvas. This is a gallery stretched 16 by 20 inch canvas. Okay, acrylic gesso coated, wooden framed. Reason why it's called gallery stretch is because there's no staples here on the side. You can see the staples are on the back side here. If you have a canvas that has staples on the side, that's kind of a cheap canvas. I'd really think about upgrading if I was you. So we have that. You're going to need your palette. I use this little 11 by 14 inch palette. And it's actually a cutting board. I love this thing. It's a Teflon cutting board. It cleans up really easily, really nice, and you can use them forever before you have to replace them. And they're cheap. This was a couple of bucks as compared to what, 30 bucks for an acrylic palette that you buy from Hobby Lobby or Michaels. So I love that. I got it taped down already. Otherwise, I'd hold it up and show it to you. But you're going to need a picture of the Christmas hearth. You can find it on the page. Print yourself out a picture because you're going to have to use that as an example, okay? So you got to have that. I would suggest that you have some sort of towel handy, just something quick that you can wipe your hands with. Also, paper towels that you can wipe your brushes with. The difference between using this and using this is good for brushes, this is good for hands. You can see the texture on it. So have something for your hands so that you can wipe some stuff off your hands. Next thing you're going to need, among everything else, and this is going to be really, really important for you, you're going to need a little sense of adventure, because that's what this is going to take. It's going to take a sense of adventure to be able to do this. Now, let me show you the colors that you're going to use on that adventure. This is the colors that will take you forward on your adventure into the unknown of doing this impressionistic painting. So, you will need, hold it upright, sap green. You're going to need permanent red. You will need, this one here is an orange yellow. They call it orange yellow. You'll need that. You'll need a raw sienna. You're going to need, deep yellow. Hope if I hold the tubes up right. You're going to need lemon yellow. You're going to need alizarin red. You will need burnt sienna. Notice it's a big tube. I use a lot of this. You're going to need black. This one here is an ivory black, I believe. No, it's a lamp black. It's lamp black. You'll need black. Again, big tube. Use a lot of it. And you'll need titanium white. Again, big tube. You can use mixing white, it don't matter, but honestly, with the amount of paint that we're going to be throwing onto this canvas, I would use the titanium white. It's a little bit thicker than mixing white is. And when I say amount of paint, I mean amount of paint. When the Impressionists did their paintings, they threw a lot of paint on the canvas, and that's what we're going to do today. One other thing you'll need, and you'll need this after you finish the painting, you're going to need some acrylic paint in a complementary color of what you're doing. Now, in this case here, complementary colors can be anywhere from a dark red to even an orange or a brown, but you will paint the edge of your gallery stretch canvas. In that way, you're able to hang it on a wall. A lot of times I go ahead and I paint it before I start doing my oil painting, but in this case I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to go ahead, do my oil painting, then I'll come back later and do my acrylic over it. So that's everything basically that you need for the painting. I'm trying to sit here and think if I missed anything. I don't think I did. I think I got it all. So, if you are ready, I'm ready. This is going to be fun, it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to go quick, so stay up. Different than any other oil painting we've done to date, different than the oil painting that I usually do. This is going to be as much fun for me as it is for you, because this is uncharted territory for me. So remember, we're doing this Impressionist style, and we're using Renoir, Monet, and Van Gogh. And as I switch the styles, I'll tell you which style we're working on at that time. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get after it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a Monet style stroke on this painting. Now, what we're going to do is, Monet liked to use big brushes. One of his largest paintings is of water lilies in his neighbor's pond. He used to love painting these water lilies in his neighbor's pond. He used very broad strokes. That particular painting I'm talking about, it is in the Nelson Atkins Museum in Kansas City, Missouri. It's as big as a wall. The painting is massive. So what we're going to do is, these areas here, this wall back here, we're going to put that in with very broad strokes. We're also going to put the floor in with very broad strokes. As we do this painting, we're going to leave gaps where elements in the painting are at. For instance, when I put in the broad strokes here on the wall, I'm going to leave areas where that tree would be, where the fireplace would be. Same thing on the floor. When I do the floor, I'm going to leave areas where the presents are up above the floor. So I'll do this. We'll fill in those broad strokes, then we'll go in and we'll do the tree, we'll do the windows, we'll do the fireplace. Leaving the gaps where the elements are at in this very first step in the painting will allow us to know where we're putting the elements. Pay attention to your photographic original, and pay attention as we do each step where these elements are at, how they're located, and what is in them. Like in the fireplace, for instance, there's bricks in the fireplace. You got to pay attention to that. Pay attention to the presents, the panes in the window, the wreath on the wall, even the stocking hanging on the fireplace, and these candles. You have to pay attention to those elements as we do this. Remember, we're doing an Impressionist style painting using 3 different artists: Monet, Renoir, and Van Gogh. We're going to combine all 3 of the styles. Monet we're going to start with. So, we're going to take our raw sienna and put a little bit on my palette up here. Don't need much up there. Maybe a little bit more than that. I'll put just a little bit more than that on there. Okay. We'll bring this palette down here where you can see it. And I'm going to do these. Now, this is on an angle going this way, but as it comes down, that angle straightens out. So that's how you got to kind of figure this out and do it that direction. So I'm going to start right up in here, broad stroke. I'm figuring where that tree's at. I'm just going to come across with this broad stroke. Need to get a little thinner on that. It's a little too thick for my liking. We'll come across with that broad stroke, keeping in mind where everything is as I do that. Broad stroke. Coming across there, just like that. Just do these broad strokes across there. Remember, I'm trying to keep in mind where that tree is located as I'm doing this. Going to do these broad strokes. See, I know the tree's right in this area right here. I also know that I have this wreath up here that I have to pay attention to. I'm just coming in, I'm doing these broad strokes. Now we're starting to get somewhere in the area of where the fireplace is at. So I'm just coming in, and I'm kind of guesstimating where the fireplace is with these strokes. Now remember, the Impressionists did not spend, which we talked about when we first started this, they didn't spend a lot of time on their paintings. They went through them pretty quick. Renoir could do a canvas in about, he usually took about a day and a half to do most of his canvases because of the pointillism that he used. Whereas Monet, depending on the size of the painting, he'd take anywhere from half a day to a full day. And when I say full day, I'm talking what we would consider like an 8-hour work day. That's how these guys operated. They actually treated it like it was a work day because for them it was. They wanted to sell their paintings, so they kind of treated it like a work day. The exception being in what I just described would be Van Gogh. Van Gogh did want to sell his paintings, but he was actually more interested in making paintings than in selling them. He wanted to sell them so that he could eat. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be able to eat, and who can blame the man for that? But he was really a lot more interested in just being able to get his paintings sold and get them. And just doing the paintings and just getting them sold so that he could eat. Very interesting. You see these broad strokes. I'm not being real detailed here. I'm just kind of throwing the paint on there. Sitting here talking to you as I'm doing this. Now, I'm going to come down in, I'm going to do the floor. With this oil paint, we have a lot of time to work with this. We don't have to rush this. There's no need to rush it. And again, I'm just coming in. This is raw sienna. And I'm just doing this floor. I'm just bringing these broad strokes down through here. I'm not worried about detail. That's not what this is about. Broad strokes, just right through there. I bet you're kind of looking at this right now going, how's that going to look like anything? Oh, trust me. When we get done with it, it will look like something. Maybe something it may look like is a mess, but at least it will look like something. Now we're going to try not to make it look like a mess. We're just going to come through here and do these strokes down through here. Come back over this direction. Just like that. Alright. Now once you use that brush, the number 12 flat brush, you got them broad strokes in there on the floor and the wall. What we're going to do next, so I'm going to come in here with a little tiny touch of the alizarin crimson. We're just going to put some of it right here where we can get to it. When I say touch, I mean a touch. I just want a very little bit. And we're going to come in with our burnt sienna. Just going to put a little touch of that onto the palette right there. Now, first thing I want to do here is this dark area right here. I want to grab that dark area right there. So I'm just gonna see. I'm just kind of grabbing it. I'm just touching it through there. Remember, this is an Impressionist painting. Your detail is going to be seen as these different strokes and these different shades and shadows and jumps in. So I'm just gonna come in here like so. You see that broad stroke I'm putting in there. I'm just kind of running that brush across there. I'm grabbing some of this burnt sienna, just run that brush across. Just want to run it across there. I want some texture in there. I want to pick up some of this color. I want to pick up some of this shade that's in that wall paneling. We're just going to run that through there like so. Just like that. Just pick that up. There we go. Now I'm going to come in here. You see the dark area down in here. And you notice I'm not using very much of that at all. There's not much there that I'm using. I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to kind of brush this in quickly. Nice broad strokes, Monet style strokes. Just brush that in. There's a there's a great film, silent film, and you can probably look it up on YouTube, of Claude Monet painting. He's out by, of all places, imagine that, the Lily Pond. And it's a very short film, but you actually get to see one of the great masters paint. And one of the great impressionists. It's a pretty special film. If look it up on YouTube, you'll be glad you did. Okay. So then I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to grab some of my alizarin crimson, pull it down into here. Didn't clean the brush. I still got the burnt sienna in the brush, but I'm going to pull it down into here. This area right here, I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to touch that. Just kind of touch that through there. Just like that. We do it again. I'm going to pull it down here. I'm mixing it in with the burnt sienna and with the raw sienna. And right here, I'm just going to kind of brush across real quick. I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm just kind of brushing it out just a little bit. I want to pick up some of that red in there. Just pick up some red. Just going to throw that in there like that. Quickly brush it in. Then without dipping my brush again, I'm just going to go a little bit light. Come down. There we go. Okay, so you see this nice color blend that I got going on in here. It's a really nice blend. I'm going to ridge this out just a little bit right there. And we got that beautiful, beautiful color blend going on in there. Now I'm going to grab the red again. Grab a little bit of red. That alizarin crimson, it's red. And I'm going to quickly just touch right through here like so. Okay. Now, underneath that wreath, top of the fireplace here, we'll grab some of the raw sienna, come across like this. I'm just going to kind of brush back and forth, like so. And then I'm going to grab a little more of the raw sienna, and I'm going to do that again, right through here. And that's that area directly below that wreath. Okay? Just like that. We'll come through here. I'm going to pull this across so we're consistent all the way across. Just like so. Alright. Now that I have that done, this is part of the Monet part of the painting here. Oh, I just saw this. Let me do this. Come down in here and I'll just kind of I'll brush real quickly right in here. Some of that alizarin crimson right in that area right there. Okay. Now we got that part done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the black in these windows right here. Okay? Now, the reason why I want to do this first before I do this is because I want to pick up some of this black to come into this curtain that's right here. So, all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my lamp black. Oh, help if I grabbed actually the lamp black instead of the titanium white. Oh, what's on there? Good. Oh, I love it when the lids kind of meld themselves to the tube. All right. Let me get some of that black. I'm gonna put it down here. All right. So this is gonna be real simple. If I can get the lid back on there. I'm going to have to clean that cap out. That cap is going to make me clean it out. There we go. Alright. So I'm going to clean my brush. Come in here and get my brush clean. Come back over here. Pull my brush through there. Clean it out. Oh, I had a piece of the brush fall off there. Now, grabbing that black, we're going to do the first window pane, which is this one right here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down and put it in there. Make sure it's solid. And we'll come down, we'll do the next one. Leave a gap in there. Gotta have that gap. Notice that there's more of this window pane showing than the other one, so we're going to make sure that we have more of it showing when we do this. Just like that. Then we'll come down, we'll do the next one. Down in here, it's right here. Using these nice broad strokes. Just like that. And it looks like we have one more down here low, so we'll get that one in. I'll close that gap up a little bit though. We'll put that next window pane in, that last one right here. Just like so. Come in here and just brush it in. I'm not worried right at this point about how square these are. It don't make a difference. We'll come over here and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come down and we're going to stay consistent. We're going to stay even with what we're doing. Get a little thinner on that brush. Grab my black. Oh, grab a big clump of black there, which I don't want to do. Have to smooth that out. We'll just come down here and we'll do our next one. And we'll do the next one. Just like that. And we'll do the next one. And there we have it. So there is our basic shapes for the windows off to the side there. Now we have to put the skirting in. Remember I said I did not want to clean my brush here. I wanted to pick up some of that black. What I am going to do though is I'm going to pull some of that black off, like so. Use my rag and I'm just going to do that. Just pull that black through there. Alright. We're going to come back here again to the alizarin crimson. Put it right here next to that black. Alright, so I'm going to grab this crimson, like so, and this is a curtain here. Again, using these broad strokes, I'm going to come down and follow a line there where I can see where it is, so I know where that line is. We do another line just like that, right next to it. I'm going to come down here and use that broad stroke. I'm going to pull that down, just like that. Alright, once I have that down there, I know that my tree is shaped right here. So now I can come down through here, I can pull this down, wet my brush a little bit with some thinner, and just pull this down. And you see how it's picking up that shadow, that black that I left in the brush. See that right there? So now grab that shadow, that black. We'll come through here, come down from the top right here, and come down. I'm going to kind of bring that back like so, and bring it up. And now I have my curtain. Just by using a little bit of black and a little bit of alizarin crimson, I created this curtain effect right through here. Alright, our next step that we're going to do is probably going to be one of my favorite steps here. We're going to Van Gogh that tree and that wreath out. And that is going to be a lot of fun. So, when you talk about Vincent, he used a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot, of dashes and jabs in his paintings. This tree is a series of dashes and jabs, and that's what we're going to do. Now, when we do it, we're going to take in consideration where these ornaments are. So we're going to try and leave gaps for those ornaments in that tree. So all we have to do is come in, and where'd it go? There it is. We're going to grab the sap green. I'm going to put me a little sap green up in this corner right here. The reason why I'm putting it there is because I'm going to want to pick up some of this. And we are going to come in. If you look, you can see there's a lot of yellow through here, which Van Gogh absolutely loved, and there's also the white through there. We're not going to worry about the white right now, but we do need to worry a little bit about the yellow. So, we'll put some yellow down. And what we're going to do, where's it at? We're going to use our nice little 3/8 brush, that nice old brush right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with that little 3/8 brush. It's a harder bristle. So as I get some of the sap green mixed out. Okay. What we're going to do is we're just going to come in here and we're just literally going to jab this. And we're going to try to pay attention as we jab it to where those lines are. Now, notice as I'm jabbing, I'm kind of doing, it's almost like a line as I do this. Kind of doing a line in there. I'm just kind of jabbing that through there. Try to pay attention where my ornaments are at. I'm just going to, basically I'm kind of attacking the canvas is what I'm doing. We'll just go in here and we'll just jab this. We'll come all down the edges first. We'll get the edges, we'll get our tree outline by doing this. Come all the way down those edges. And it's going to take a minute. It's a big tree. That's okay. Just jab that on there. Come all the way down. Keep in mind where your presents are at down at the bottom, okay? You definitely want to keep in mind where the presents are down here around the bottom. Just jab that in. So I'm getting down to the present area, so I need to switch sides. Need to come back on this other side. Just jab it in. Jab that in there. Notice that already we're getting a lot of the canvas covered because we're working fast. We're just laying this color in. And we got that in there. So there's your sides. Then come through and jab through. Leave spaces for your ornaments. You don't necessarily have to leave the same spaces that are on your photograph here, but you do need to leave spaces for the ornaments. You need to take that into consideration as you're coming down and jabbing your painting here. I know it's hard to imagine, but you'll discover as you're sitting here with your brush and you're jabbing at this to put those brush strokes in there and to create your tree, that your brush strokes are actually controlled. You start paying attention to where you're laying them at. It don't seem like it at first. It seems like it's kind of random, but it really isn't. You're going to start letting your eye tell you where you want to put those brush strokes at, what looks right to you. You're going to work it in there. And as you come down and you keep going and you look back, you're going to start seeing a pattern emerge on your tree. Don't make a pattern. In other words, don't sit there and try to plan a pattern out in your mind. Let your hand, let your eye, and let your mind just kind of work together to create the pattern without thinking about creating the pattern. If you start thinking about creating the pattern, then it's actually going to look like you planned it out. And that is the last thing you want to do. That's not the idea behind this. It should be random, just like nature is. Nature's kind of random. When you put together a Christmas tree, you try to keep those ornaments organized, but the branches of the tree kind of dictate exactly where you're going to put everything. It's not really up to you. It's up to the branches of the tree. It's the same way with this painting. The branches of the tree kind of dictate where you're going to put everything. Okay, so once you're down towards the bottom to where you feel like, okay, that's where my packages are at, and that's where they're going to be at, see if you need to widen anywhere. I feel like I need to widen through here, so I'm just going to widen just a little bit. I'm going to dab up through there. Just felt like I need to widen right there. Feel like I need to widen through here. Okay, next, get your yellow. Get that lemon yellow. Start again jabbing, but go on top of what you've already put in there. Just jab it. Just jab that. You just want to jab right on top of what you've already done. You want to pick up some of that lemon yellow. Just go right up through there. Just jab at it. You see how it's picking up that lemon yellow? See what's happening there? Starting to have this more three-dimensional effect. Now, when you're up close on your painting, it might look like a bit of a blur to you. But when you step back away from the painting, and this is the beauty of the Impressionist art, that's when it takes form, that's when it takes shape, that's when you see the detail. That's when you actually see the beauty of what you've created. It's at that point. So I need a little more right up through here, so I'm just going to thicken that up just right through there, just by doing that. Come through here. And come down. We're just picking up that color all through there, just like that. Now, once you've gone over all your green doing this, next thing you're going to do is you're going to come in with white. I'm pretty satisfied with that, how that looks. So now, but am I satisfied? Let's see. Yeah, I want to put some more through here. Yeah, just like that. So now, I'm going to take some titanium white. Put it down right over here. And again, we're going to come in here, but this time what we're going to do, notice I haven't cleaned my brush. What we're going to do is we're going to go some of these gaps that are in here. And we're going to hit those gaps with the titanium white. Keep in mind that you still have ornaments that you have to put in. So hit some of those gaps with that titanium white. Just come in here, use the titanium white and come in and hit those gaps. Not all of them. Keep some of them open. Try to shape your ornaments as you're coming in and hitting with the titanium white. Just like that. Just jab at it. That's what you're doing. You're just jabbing at this. Now, once you get the areas around where your openings are at with the titanium white, I want you to come back in. I want you to lightly hit on the edges. Just come up. Just hit on those edges. Just kind of stab at it. Just like that. And down here at the bottom, throw some of it down there in the bottom. All right. Now, I don't like this. Just to be truthful with you, I don't like it. I think it needs to be darkened up a little bit. It's too kind of off by itself. A little bit different than the rest of the painting, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of that sap green. And, if I can get the cap closed here. Stubborn caps. We'll grab a little bit of my lemon yellow. We'll throw some of it up there. And we'll come back in with that sap green. We've got to stab at it. I'm wanting to darken that up a little bit. That's what I'm wanting to do. I don't want it to look like it's edged out. That's the last thing I want it to do. So we'll darken it up and we'll bring it in a little bit so it don't quite look like it's edged. Again, I'm just jabbing at the canvas with my brush. That's all I'm doing. We're going to bring that across. Do the same thing over here. We're going to kind of blend that back over so it don't look like it's edged out. And that looks a little bit better. I'll grab a little bit of my lemon yellow here. And I'll hit it with the lemon yellow. We'll do the same thing over here. We'll hit a little bit with the lemon yellow coming up this side right here. Just like that. Okay, once you get that done, then it's time to come in here and let's get some of those ornaments in. Now, let me clean the brush here. I'll get that brush clean. Looks good. I'll stick that over there. You can see how quickly that little tray gets those brushes cleaned. I mean, it does it like really quick. Alright, so then we're going to come over here with the round flat, okay? Round brush with flat end, number 4. What we're going to do, so we're going to grab our Azurian Crimson, and we're going to go put ornaments in. Wherever you feel like an ornament needs to be, you just kind of put it in there. Notice I'm still dabbing just like before. This is a dab. We're just going to go in and we're going to dab those ornaments in there. I don't want you to get, you're not getting perfect here. This isn't the point. You're not going to go in there and go, oh, I got to get this perfectly round. No, you don't. And I don't want you to. Because if that's what you're doing the wrong thing. You're not keeping with the idea of the Impressionist painting. Impression, it means you're giving an impression of something, of a shape, of an object, a person, an animal, a building. It's an impression. If you look at any of the Impressionist artists, you'll see that they always just go in there and they don't try to define what they're doing. This isn't a Dutch master. A Dutch master goes in and they define their work. That's not what an Impressionist does. An Impressionist gives the impression of the object, of the thing. Like I said, if you go in and you're trying to define what you're doing, back off and just dab. Right now, just dab. That's all we're trying to do. We're putting all these red ornaments on this tree. That's the only color ornaments that are on this tree is these red ones. We're going to put those on there, just like that. Get some here on the outside edge. Let's put one right there. Let's put one right up in here. Maybe there's one peeking out up there at the top. We'll put one over here on this edge. Right there. This looks like a good spot for one. And right there too. And notice I just come through here. I'm just touching. If I think it looks right for an ornament, I'll put an ornament. I'm about pretty much done with putting ornaments. I've put all the ornaments on my tree I want to put. Okay, so at that point, now that you're there, come back over here to your white. Still using the same brush. And on the side where the fireplace is, I just want you to touch each ornament with the white. just on the side where the fireplace is. Just touch each ornament with that white. Don't have to be perfect. You're just putting this little dot of white on there. You know how I'm always talking about drama? This is your drama. This is where your drama's at. It's right here. Just going to touch that white. Come up through there and touch that white on the side where the fireplace is. Just like so. Just coming up in there and touching it right there on the side where the fireplace is. That's all you're doing. We're just going to come up here. We'll work our way towards the top. Notice I'm just using that flat round brush. I'm using the flat edge, which is the top edge of that flat round brush. We're just coming up here and we're just touching this. Now once I get all my ornaments touched and done, what I'm going to do next, excuse me, I'm going to come in here and you see all of this area, all this yellow area that you can see in here. So what I'm going to do, clean out this brush. We'll get the brush clean. Same brush, I'm going to grab my yellow that's up here, and any place where I can see canvas coming through, I'm going to hit it with that yellow. Just going to dab it, just jab right at it. If I see canvas, it gets hit with yellow. Just going to come right up here. Any place where canvas is peeking through, it gets hit with that yellow. Just like so. If you're going up alongside the ornament, that's fine. If you see canvas, you hit it. If you pick up some of the Alzarian crimson from the ornament, that's fine too. It can blend in with that tree. You can have little spots of Alzarian crimson color here and there. There's nothing that says you can't. It's right there, see? There's some canvas showing through right there on the edge of that one ornament. I'm just coming through there and I'm hitting it. You can see I'm picking up some of that crimson up through there. Just touch it. Now, once you have that done, once you get your yellow in there, any place where you saw canvas, I see another couple of, see some canvas right there, a little right there, some right there. Once you get that done, then what you're going to do is you're going to come back here to this little 3/8 flat brush. You can grab some of your sap green. What I want you to do is I want you to create some branches poking out from the edge. Just kind of here and there. Just branches kind of poking out from the edge. And you're just dabbing at it. You're just kind of stabbing it a little bit, creating those branches poking out from the edge. Do the same over on the other side. Create some branches poking out from the edge. We're not creating a geometric shape here, we're creating a tree. Each tree is unique and different unto itself. And as we do this, we make this tree unique and different unto itself. Your tree is going to be different than my tree. You know, you'll have a different looking tree than mine, and which is fine because it's unique. Grab your yellow when you get that done. Come back in and kind of hit on top of every place where you put that branch coming out. Just kind of hit it a little bit. Wanted to pick up a little bit more green there. I'll grab my yellow. Come through and I'll hit that. Grab my yellow and I'll hit it. Any place where I put those branches coming out, I'm going to hit that yellow on top of there. And you see what's happened here. We now have this very unique, one of a kind Christmas tree that's just not a conical shape, but actually has some branches that are sticking out there. They're longer than others. And we have created a Christmas tree. That easy. There's your Christmas tree. Van Gogh style Christmas tree up against the back of a Monet background. That's different and it's pretty awesome. Now we're going to do our Christmas wreath right here. You see there's a lot of lights on that wreath. And we're going to deal with lights later. We're not at the point where I want to deal with lights yet. But what we're going to do is we're going to create our Christmas wreath. It looks like it has a red center here, green outside. So let's go ahead and get the shape. It's not going to be perfectly round. It's going to be kind of oval shape. So again, we're just going to stab at the canvas. Just like that. Just kind of stab at the canvas. Just come up here and stab at it. Come around, stab at that canvas. Then do it again. Come around on the outside edge, stab at that canvas. I want you to just stab it. Just like that. You don't want this round. I repeat. Do not make this wreath round. It should be oval because you're looking at it. Your eyesight, your line of sight is right here. So you're looking back this way and you're looking this way. Do not make this wreath perfectly round. Come in towards your center. Just jab at this. Just jab it. Keep coming in. Just like that. Okay, once you get to, about that point or so, come in, grab your yellow. You may have to go a little more yellow here. Start working out from the outer edge. And just jab that yellow in there. Just get it jabbed in. Okay, once you get some yellow into your wreath there, then what I want you to do is I want you to come back in here with this white. Now notice that we have that Azurian crimson mixed in with that white. That's exactly what I wanted. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. We're going to touch a few places with that white and that little bit of Azurian crimson that it's picking up. Just come in here and touch it. Just kind of jab at it. You're getting your Van Gogh on right now. You got your Monet on a minute ago, now you're getting your Van Gogh on. Come in here and just jab at that. Okay, once you have that done, without cleaning your brush, don't clean your brush. Once you come in here, first thing I want you to do is I want you to grab some of your Azurian crimson. I want you to come in here and hit this inner edge. Just dab at that edge. See what's happening by not cleaning your brush? You see what's picking up there. See how it's picking up some of that other color? Come in and hit it again, right on that edge there. Now you see how that's darker right there, right? You've created like the center ring inside that wreath. Now I want you, remember this black that we brushed out here a while ago? Grab that, just like that. Stab the center of the wreath. You're going to do that again. Grab that black that we put on there a while ago and stab the center of the wreath. Do it one more time for me. Grab that black, stab the center of the wreath. Just like so. Now once you do that, come over here to this black. Grab just a little tiny bit of it. Just a little bit. Go right dead center of the wreath, right there. Just that little tiny area right there. See that tiny area I just filled in? That's all you want to do. That's it. Now, I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to grab this white right here. I'm going to do, just going to come all the way around with that. We'll come all the way around with that, just like so. And there's our wreath. That easy. We now have a wreath, we now have a tree, which means that our next step is to create the fireplace. And I'm going to come in here on this part right here. I'm just going to kind of pull this over a little bit. I'm going to edge out that curtain. Pull that over, kind of brush it over. Just like so. Okay, so our next step is to create our fireplace. Now to do that, we're still not to Renoir yet. If you're waiting for Renoir, you're going to have to be patient just a little bit more, because what we're going to do here is we're going to do Van Gogh again. We have got to do Van Gogh to pull this one off, okay? And you'll see what I mean. First thing that you need to do in order for us to do that is, let me clean this brush real quick. You're going to use, to pull that off, you're going to use this brush right here. Okay? That's your number 6 flat brush. Okay? And we're going to use that to create the fireplace. So let's get on that. Okay, So the first thing that we need to do is we need to get some of our burnt umber. And we're going to put a little bit of it right here. Just drop it right there. Now, I'm going to grab my flat brush over here. It's hiding on me. Get that little flat brush that we had a while ago. And what I'm going to do is this ridge right here. Now you see there's some length in between here and here. So I'm going to come down a little ways. I'm going to come in this area right about in there, pretty much. And all I'm going to do, again, we're doing this Van Gogh style for this hearth. This is the hearth in the Christmas hearth portion of this. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a line across here. I'm just going to go like this. I'm just going to bring this line across, like so. Extend it out a little bit, right about there, and bring it across. This is as simple and straightforward as anything in the painting can possibly be. Now, after I do that, I'm going to grab just very touch of this alizarin crimson. Come back over the top of that. Just like so. And there's the mantle. That's it. There's nothing more to do. That is the mantle of our fireplace there. Now, we have these bricks. We have 1, 2, 3. We got 4 rows of bricks coming down. So all we're going to do those, real simple. So we're going to come in here first with our burnt umber, and I'm going to very quickly put these bricks in. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on them. Just going to slap them in there. Just come right across here. Get these bricks in. Just like so. Okay, then we'll come down right below those. Remember, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 rows of these. So then I'll put my corner brick in. That's a corner brick right there. And then I'm going to offset each brick. See how that's offset as we come down? Just offset each one of those bricks. Like so. That easy. I'm going to come in, I'm going to do the same thing again. Come down, I'm going to make my row. I'm going to offset each brick. I want each one of those bricks offset. Come down here and offset each one of those bricks. You notice I'm not too worried about making sure that this color is solid right now. That's not where we're at with this. We're not trying to do any solid color here. Put my corner brick in and offset the 4th row. Remember, we have 4 rows on this. I'm knocking things over now. You know, I do that at least once a video. I knock stuff over. I don't know why I do that. Guess I'm just kind of clumsy. It's starting to become a trademark with me. Reach down here and I'll grab that. And I'll grab the brush we knocked off. Alright. Now, we have a row of bricks that comes right down here. Down the side. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those. Okay, so all we're going to do, come in here, I'm going to go 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we have our 10th one. And then we got to come across the bottom. Just pull right across the bottom. We got several bricks across that bottom, so we'll just pull them across there. Keep them consistent in size with the ones up above. Just pull that across. And we're going to come all the way across there. Just bring your bricks all the way across. Just like so. Okay, once you have those bricks all the way across, then come in and you got your bricks coming down the side here. Okay, so remember, we're looking at an angle here. You're not going to see the full opening of the fireplace. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to count these bricks across. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We can see 4 bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. Okay, so put your first side brick right there. Then come down, just like before, do a corner brick, and do an offset brick. And offset your brick, like so, and put your corner brick in there. Now, go ahead and make sure you come down on the sides a little bit, because this is a gallery stretch canvas, so you do want to come down on the side just a little bit. And offset that brick, come through here, do our offset again. Do it again. Make sure you keep them even. Set the brick. Come down and offset that. And we're just going to work our way down here. Keeping everything even and consistent. Just like that. And then we'll do our last row right here. So there's the basic structure of the fireplace, okay? Now, you notice there's a separation here in these colors. All we're going to do, so we know where we're going, is we're going to look here. We're going 1, 2, 3. We're going 3 bricks over. 1, 2, 3. 3 bricks over, okay? And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a faint line going down so I know where that separation's at. Just like that. Okay. Now, come over here, and we're going to get our orange yellow. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put it right there. I think I want it right in this. I want to pick up some of that red color with this. Alright, so we're going to Van Gogh the bricks out. Remember, that's what we're going to do. We put basic down on it. We're going to grab this orange yellow here. We're going to get right on the tip of this brush. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to hit those bricks like that. We're just going to come across and hit those bricks just like that. Just a couple lines in them. Just a couple lines. Don't sit there and try to be perfect on this, because perfect is what you're doing right now, which is just throwing a couple lines in there. Just those lines in there. Just like that. Throw the lines in. Just that little bit of orange makes all the difference in the world. Just throw that line in there. Just get it in there. A couple lines in. Do that all the way down. Did I miss that? I guess I missed that right there. Wow. Do that. Just come all the way down with that. Pull that across. Let's just work that down. Work it across here. Let's just get this here. We'll come up here, we'll work this across. Just a couple quick lines. We'll get those in there. Almost there. All right. So you got that little touch of orange in those bricks right there. That's, you're picking up light. You can see it in your original drawing. If you notice right here in the center, there's a wreath. We'll come back to that wreath. We'll also come back to these stockings that are hanging by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas will soon be there. And there's a blanket rack right here. We'll get back to that. But that's not where we're at right now. Next thing we're going to do, again, still using this flat brush. Pull your flat brush back flat again, like so. Get some of that paint out of there. Grab your black, just a little bit of black. You don't need much. See, there's just a little bit on the brush there. What you're going to do is you're going to come in here and you're going to edge everything. Just come right across, just like that. Now, do that all the way down. Just pick up the paint that's already there. Pick it up with your black and pull it across. Whatever paint's there, you just go ahead and pick it up. You're picking up the paint off the edges of your bricks. And you're pulling that across. Do it again. Come down. And pull it across. Now when you think that your brush is starting to dry out and you're losing paint in there, which is going to happen, at that point you need to dip your brush. So you grab your black, just smooth that right on the edge there. Come in here and edge this all the way down. Just edge it. Just pull across just like that. See how well that works? Just come in here and edge that out. We'll pull that through there. Wedge that out all the way down. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to do the same thing. Just going to pull that brush across. We're going to separate those bricks out, but we're going to pick up some of the color that's already there to do that. Just like that. Let's pull it across. My brush is starting to dry out, so I'm going to pick up some paint here. I'm going to pull it across. Now once you get all that pulled across there, next thing I want you to do is I want you, again, just a little bit on the brush. You can see there's just a little bit on there, right? And I'm doing it flat on both sides. Go in here and get your centers. And all you got to do is just barely touch those centers. Just like that. Just make sure you can't see any of the canvas underneath when you do that. just going to come back through here. You're going to hit all the areas in between each brick. Come down, hit those areas. Just like that. Pick up some of the color from the bricks into the black. It makes the black not quite so stark. You don't really want that black really stark. You want it a little muted, and that color that you're picking up from between the bricks helps you mute that down. I'll go ahead and just barely touch these areas right here. You want to go ahead and put a little separation in there, just like so. Try not to let your hand touch the canvas. Keep your brush up away from the canvas. Now, if you're doing this on an easel, it'll be a lot easier. I'm doing it on this table so I can show you what we're doing here. Normally I would paint on an easel, but to help you out here, I'm just going ahead and doing it on this table with the overhead camera so that you can easily see what I'm doing. Fill those areas right there. Okay. Now, once those are filled in, next thing you got to do is notice how dark this is right here. See how dark that is? Without cleaning your brush and without dipping it again. That's the trick. All you're going to do is you're going to pull. Just pull right across there. Just like that. Okay? Come down. Edge it a little bit. And you're muting that out. See, you can still see your separations, but now it's dark. You've darkened it. And you've created this shadow area over here on the side. Now, if you want to, if it's not dark enough for you, go ahead and pull your flat brush out again, just like that, just like we did before. And then come back across it again. Do it one more time. Just come down and work that across. Get that darkness in there. You want that edge, because it's in the shadow, you want that darker than the rest of it. Just like so. Pull a little more black here. We'll darken this up. We'll just come right down through here. We'll darken that up. Just like that. Alright. Now, once you have that, it's time to go in here and get the hearth. Get the fire in the hearth, get the bricks, the glow of the inside of there. So what we're going to do that, I'm going to clean the brush first. So I'm going to come over here and grab my cleaner, get that brush clean. I'll get the brush nice and clean. All right. Now, we're going to grab the deep yellow. We'll drop the deep yellow on here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab this, flatten it out on the brush, and then inside the fireplace here, we're going to create our bricks just like we did on the outside. So, pay attention to what's going on. Notice how we're offsetting on this edge right here. Okay? Going to do that all the way down. We're going to offset that all the way down. Just going to pull that deep yellow through there and offset that. All the way across. Offset each section, just like so. Just pull it across and get it in there. Also, I'm picking up some of that brown from the other edge over there. This is going to give us the look that we're wanting to get. Okay. Now once you have that done, we got to do these inside ones. Remember, I put a separation line going down through here. Let's redefine that a little bit. Okay. Go back in here. And I want you to, again, offset your bricks. Going all the way across there, just like that. Just offset them. Get them in there. If you pick up some of the other color, that's fine. Actually kind of want you to. Go through there. Get that in. Put that in there, like so. Come through there. Can you see this starting to take shape? Notice how it's starting to become more three-dimensionalized. It's no longer a flat surface. You're creating a depth here. You're creating an inner depth to this. This is your area that's going to be glowing because of the fire. And even though it's brighter than the outside, what ends up happening is you end up with a you end up with a depth, because this is glowing. This is an inner glow that's taking place from the fire. A lot of times, you do a doorway. Your doorway edge is lighter, where your inner is darker, creating that depth. Well, we're actually kind of reversing that, because we're talking about a fire here, so it's going to be lighter on the inside than it is on the outside. Just go in here and run these in. Just like that. Look at that. Just like so. Okay, once you get that done, next thing I want you to do is I want you to grab just a little bit of your alizarin crimson, just a small touch of it, okay? And right on these edges, just kind of come in here and brush them a little bit, right on the edges. Just look at your edges. Brush those edges. Just kind of give them a little brush. Do that all the way through there. Just come on down here. Kind of give it a little brush as you come down. We're going to create this nice little effect of these glowing bricks in this hearth. Just give it a little brush. Just like so. You're going to do the same thing back here. Grab a little bit of the alizarin crimson, and I just want you to give it a little brush. That's all you're going to do, just a little brush. Come back in here and brush that a little bit. Come down to your next one, do the same thing again. Just a little brush. We want the center, as you work your way down, we want the center to remain lighter. So don't brush too much into that center. Okay, just kind of on these edges here. Just a little brush. Okay. Come back in and redefine your line again, just like so. Now, I want you to grab your burnt sienna. My mind pulled. I had a brain fart there for a second. Grab your burnt sienna. Don't clean out your brush, okay? Remember what we did up here? We're going to do the same thing here, except we're going to use the burnt sienna this time. We're going to come down through here. We're going to do each section at a time. We'll just pull right across through there, picking up some of the color that's already there. I'm just going to pull right across through there, just like that. Now I'm going to come down here on this edge, and I'm going to touch it and blend it down on the edge. Just using the color that's already on the canvas. Just like that. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to get these areas right here. Just touch my brush on them. Just like so. Creating that glow as we do this. Okay. Then we'll come back here. I'll get a little more of the burnt sienna. We'll pull it out there. We'll come through here. We're going to separate this. I'm not going to be as, what's the word I'm looking for here, thorough as I was over here. You'll see why in a second. I'm just barely going to brush this in. Just barely want to brush that in. Then same thing here. I'm going to barely brush this in. Come all the way down, barely brushing it in. Notice that I don't care whether any canvas is showing, right? There's a reason for that. I'm going to just barely brush all that in right there. Okay. Now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to blend this edge right here. Just blend that down just by pulling my brush down. So now I got that edge blend on the fireplace. Now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to clean my brush. Okay. I'm going to come in, I'm going to grab, if I can find it there, yeah. I'm going to grab my lemon yellow. I'll put it right up here. I'll grab that lemon yellow. And then, we'll come in here, still keeping in mind that we're playing Van Gogh a little bit here. I'm going to kind of stab areas where I see canvas coming through using that lemon yellow. Reason why is because this is where our fireplace glow is. This is where the flame's at. This is where everything is going to kind of glow out from the fireplace. So we're just going to come in here and we're just going to kind of stab this. Any place where I see canvas showing through, I'm going to just stab that lemon yellow in there. I'm going to start getting thicker as I get down in this area here, because this is where our flame's at. So I'm just going to put that in there, just stab it in. just like so. In place where I see that canvas showing, even on this side over here, slap some lemon yellow in there. Now I'll take the lemon yellow, and on this upper edge here, I'm going to run this brush right along this upper edge, just like this. I'm just going to pull it across. And I'm going to do that one more time. Clean the brush down a little bit, and then I'm going to pull this across right here. That's the upper glow at the top of the fireplace. You can see it right here. There's a small upper glow at the top. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create the flame. I need some titanium white. And we'll get you a little clean area of titanium white right there. And you can see this right here. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to take the titanium white without cleaning this brush out. I'm just going to kind of just attack this area right here. Okay, so we're just going to attack this. We're going to create flames up through here using that titanium white and picking up the colors that are already there. We will create our flames up through here. Just go up through there, just create those flames. Just get them in there. Make them dance, make them laugh, make them sing. Just work them up in there. Don't want to go too high with them. You can always come back in later if you want your areas in here wider. After it dries, you can come in and you can do that. But for our purposes tonight, this is good enough. I'm going to put a couple little whips down in here, like so. Just, we're going to dance those flames a little bit. Alright, so we got those flames in. Now, to create this glow down here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take, still keeping the white in the brush, grab a little bit of this Azerian Crimson. You notice we're using this a lot. And I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to throw that Azerian Crimson right there. There is the hearth. That's the hearth. Kind of brush this up a little bit on this side right here. And then, as soon as I have that done, I'm going to clean my brush. Just reach over here and just clean it real quick. I just need to get a little bit of the color out. And then I'm going to grab my yellow. Remember our yellow? Grab my yellow and I'm going to make this glow using the yellow. We're just going to make that glow right up the center. We just want that to glow right up that center. Let's make it glow. Let's go up the center. Line up the center of your canvas with that yellow. Go in there and just kind of lighten it up a little bit so that you have this nice little glow going on. And then grab some of your white and go over that yellow. And you create a glow back through there and soften it up. All you have to do is just kind of lightly touch your brush to the canvas. Just like that. I think I'm going to add me a little more white down here. A little more white. And I'm just going to lightly touch this. I'm not going to press into it. I'm going to lightly touch it to give myself that little bit more white in there. I want those flames to kind of stand out away from that yellow in the background. So just give it a little touch. Just lightly touch it. Just like that. Now, I'm going to take and pull my brush out. You notice I do this to pull some paint out of the brush. Reason why I do that is so I can come back. If I want to use that paint later on, I can. I'm going to come down here on the side. I'm going to lightly touch this down the side and create a bit of a glow on the side right here. Now, that quick, that easy, there's the hearth. There's our hearth right there. We got it. It's taken care of. Okay. Now down here below, you can see there's a couple layers of bricks down here. So we got to put those bricks in. So we'll come back here and we'll go just like we did before. I should come across a little bit more. We can correct that. That's not a problem. We'll put these bricks down here. And we want a little bit of a glow on those bricks. We'll slap them in there. And what I'm going to do with these bricks is I'll get them in there. Because like I said, I do want a bit of a glow on these particular bricks. So we'll just come in. Okay. Now all I'm going to do with these is I'm going to come back in. Remember our orange up here? Get that orange. I'm going to flatten it out. It's picking up a little bit of red that was underneath it, which is good. I'm just going to quickly touch that. Okay. Now, once I have that done, I'm going to take my black. I'm going to edge this bottom. Just pull it right across the edge of that bottom. I'm going to put my edge here in the center like that. We're going to come down here. We're going to separate these. I don't know what I did here, but we'll separate them out anyway. Down here. Just like that. Then the last thing I'm going to do in this area is I'm going to grab some of this little bit of yellow that's left here, just a tiny bit. And I want to create this glow from the fireplace. So I'm going to pull this yellow across here. Blend it back in. We're going to create that slight glow from the fireplace. Just kind of pull the yellow in there. Just a little bit of yellow. Don't need to add much. Just pull a little bit of yellow through there. We want to create the glow from the fireplace. A little bit of it back here, like so. There we go. I think just a tiny bit more through here. And the fireplace is done. Now our next step on the fireplace, the next thing we have to do, now that we have that done, is we need to go in and we're going to put in the socks, we're going to put in the candles, we're going to put in the lights, the blanket cover, we're going to put in the presents. Ah, but wait. We've already done the Van Gogh thing. So what does that mean? Well, that means simply that I need to put in this little wreath that's right here. Or we're still in the Van Gogh thing. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to do this wreath real quick. So we'll just throw that little wreath in there. And you notice it's really muted. It's kind of really hard to see in there. So we're going to keep that. We're going to keep that same thing going. We're going to keep that same idea going. So I'm just going to throw it up there. Notice I'm just picking up color that's already on my brush to do this. And then we'll throw a little bit of yellow right on the edge here. Or it can pick up the light from the fire. And we'll do that with a little bit of white, a little touch of white, and we'll pick up a little light on the fire right there. And on up and around. And right through there. I'm going to clean my brush. We'll come back through here, and I'm going to stab this real quick. Maybe put a little more green over it. That's good enough. It's close enough for government work, so I'm actually happy with that. I'm going to leave that just the way it is. I don't want to do anything else with it. You notice there's a little bit in your picture, there's a little bit of red glow. Now, if you want to add a little bit of red glow, don't add red. Grab your little bit of orange and go in there and just kind of tap it with a little bit of that orange. And you'll give that little bit of red glow. Just give it a little tap. Just like that. It'll pick up some of that red glow. Alright. We got that part done. We got the fireplace done. It's time to become Renoir. But before we do that, we have to revert to Monet for just 1 second. So, what we're going to do is we're going to grab this brush here. We haven't used this one yet. And what I'm going to do, oh, I need to get some more yellow. Hold on. So what we're going to do, so we're going to grab this yellow. We're going to come right up in here with the yellow, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of brush this yellow in. We're going to pick up what's behind it. We're going to brush it right on the edge of this fireplace here. Picking up the colors that are around it. I want those colors that are around it. I want to pick those up. As I'm brushing right on the edge of the fireplace. I want this really soft little glow going right here. And that's what this brush will create. It'll create this soft little glow. We're going to bring that up. We're going to bring that glow up a little bit. Just like that. Then, once we have that nice little glow, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to grab some of this white that's hiding over here on the side. And I'm just going to kind of brush it in there a little bit, just like this. Just like this. I'm going to blend it back. This brush here is excellent for creating these soft little glows. Just use it gently on the canvas. Broad strokes. We got that nice little glow going up there. Now, I'll grab my yellow, and we're going to do the same thing through here. We're going to create some glows through here. So all we're going to do is we're just going to kind of brush this in with what's already there. We want to create some glows. So we're just going to lightly touch this until we blend it in. Just like that. We'll come up here and we'll grab from the other side and we'll come in here and we'll just kind of brush it in a little bit. Be careful not to pick up too much color from the edge of your tree. We'll do a soft little blend here. Soft little blend. Just like that. Soft little blend. Come back through here. Come off of this side. Just softly blend it back. Softly blend it back. We're going to pick up some of that light coming off the tree and from the fireplace is what we're doing here. So we'll just softly blend this back up. Just want to come across, get a little bit of that in there, softly blend it in. Just like so. A little bit of light in there. We're just going to come up and we'll come over here. We'll come over this direction. Blend some of this back over here. Softly blend it in. Getting less and less as we go up. Less and less as we go up. Now, once you get up in there, get some more titanium white. Clean your brush out. Grab some of that titanium white. And right over where you put that yellow at, lightly brush some of that titanium white in there. Just get it brushed lightly in there. Brush it up in there. You're working your way towards the top. Just work your way right up towards the top. Lightly brush it in there. Come back in. Using a stroke like you're seeing me use right now. So I'm just kind of dipping my hand. Lightly smooth this out. Don't dip your brush in the white again. Just lightly smooth it out. Just like that. Okay? We want to create that glow that's going up the wall right here. So we're just kind of, you can kind of blend that back. Lightly, not fast, just lightly bring it up, bring it up. We're creating a little bit of light on the wall here. You get to the top. Come back the other direction. Okay, so now we have our areas going up the wall here. Okay? I am going to come in here. I'm going to take just a little touch of this deep yellow right here. Just a small touch. And come in here with it. I want to come right in here with that deep yellow. I want to separate this out a little bit. And the deep yellow will let me do that. I want to put a little deep yellow right in here. And I think I want to put a little deep yellow right up in this area right here. And let's see. Let's go back over in the right here. Okay. And just a touch more, maybe right through here. And right through here. All right. Now, all I'm going to do, use that same stroke. Before I put that deep yellow out, I'm going to just kind of blend it in just a little bit. I don't want to blend it in much. I just want to blend it in a little bit using that same stroke I used a while ago. Okay, I am good with that. That basically accomplishes what I was hoping to accomplish. So now we have that glow going up the wall, the glow from all the lights that are taking place. Now, let's do, I know you've been anxiously waiting for this, let's do the Renoir thing. Okay, so how we're going to do that, let me clean my brush here real quick. How we are going to do that is we're going to start at the top of the fireplace. Renoir liked to use little points of color, and he would pick up other colors when he did it. So we're going to start with this candlestick right here. We're using this brush, okay? That's your number 8 round brush. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little thinner on it to soften it up a little bit. And I'm going to get this white right here, grab a little bit of this yellow, and I'm going to make the candle holder first. So all I'm going to do to make that candle holder is I'm going to come up through here like this. Like so. Come up just a little bit more, take a little bit of white, grab a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to curve this out this direction. I'm going to curve this out this direction. A little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, and come back in here. Now that's the basic shape of my candle holder. Take a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to put the ends on it like so. I'm going to put the ends on here like so. A little bit of white, a little bit of yellow. I'm going to put the next section coming up here and here like that. A little bit of yellow. Put the top on my candle holder. Now, this is what Renoir do. This is your basic shape right here of everything. Now all I'm going to do, so I'm going to come in here with this brush, and I'm going to create little dots. Just using the yellow, I'm going to create little tiny dots. Come down through here, come up through here this way. Little controlled dots. That's all I'm doing. So you can see the candle holder there. Right here, this is a bit too wide, so all I'll do is I'll just blend this back, and using the color that's there, we'll create a glow for the candles. Just like so. I'll just come in here and I'll pull this up. We'll create a glow for the candles. Okay. So then we're going to put the candles in. We're going to use that round brush, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the candles. Just like that. Just pull them up. I'll do it again. Little candlesticks here. Come up, pull it up again. Pull it up again. And I'll keep doing that till I have exactly the white consistency that I'm wanting here. I'm not quite there yet. Yeah, actually I am. That's about the white consistency I want. Okay, now I'm going to change out brushes. We'll come back here. Oh, grab it here. Come back here to our Van Gogh brush. Grab that white. That white right now is the exact consistency that I wanted. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and using the edge of that brush, I'm going to pull up. And put my candlesticks in. Once my candlesticks are in there, just like that, I'm going to put the flames on the end. Put the flames on the end. All I'm going to do is grab a little bit of the white and the yellow. Just going to touch the ends. A bit of white and yellow. Just touch the ends. And my candle's done. That easy. Candle's done. Nothing more I have to do to it. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do these stockings. So, it's going to be real easy using that flat brush. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do this one first. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch it like that. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to touch it again. Just like so. That's the top of the stocking. That quick. And we'll do it over here too. We got this one that's hanging right here. So all we're going to do is we're just going to go in and we're going to touch, dot, 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 like so. And we're going to touch it again, like that. And dot, 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 dot. And that's the top of that one. Notice it's just basically a series of little dots I just put in there using this flat brush. I put some little dots in there. That's all I did. That's how Renoir would do it. You just put those little dots in there. I'm not claiming to be Renoir. By no means would I ever claim that. But that is basically how he did that. Now, we're going to get permanent red. Grab some permanent red here. If I can get squeezed out there. There we go. And what I want to do now, clean this brush. Grab our round brush again. We'll grab some of this. And what I want to do is I want to create the stocking. So what I'm going to do to create the stocking is I'm just going to come off of here. I'm going to hit these dots. I'm going to come down, just dotting it, and create my stocking shape. Just like so. I'll do the same thing over here. I'll come down. And I'm going to create my stocking shape. Just dotting this. Alright. Then I'll grab some of the white. We'll dot it again. And we'll grab some of the white and we'll dot this one. And there's our stockings. That quick, that easy. I need to put the little string going up. Otherwise there's nothing holding the stocking to the mantle. Okay. That's that. That easy. Now we got a little bell looking ornament up there at the top, but we'll come back to that. I want to get this right here, this blanket rack. So I'm going to do is still using that permanent red. I'm going to dot all the way down, just like so. I'm going to do it again over here. Coming on, I'm going to dot all the way down, just like that. Then come here on the side and picking up the color that's already there. I want to keep this dark, so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to dot it like so, keeping that dark. I'm going to come, oops, I picked up a whole clump of red right there. How'd that happen? Okay. Then I'm going to come across here. And I'm going to dot this down. Like that. Then I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to dot that out there. Now, picking up the white. Hold on, I got a bristle that's hanging loose there. We don't want that. Picking up the white. I'm going to come right on that edge. Right there. We're going to come down through here like so. And we're going to create the pattern of the blanket. Doing these quick little dots going down through there. Let's create the pattern of that blanket. Come back through here. We'll edge that just slightly to where there's slight separation of color through there. Put that slight separation of color through there. Just like that. Then we'll finish bringing this around. We'll bring this around this direction. You see, I'm just doing this little series of little tiny dots in there to create this effect. Just like that. Now once I have that in place, and also we have a basket, could be apples, who knows what it is, but there's a basket of stuff down there. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to grab my burnt sienna, and I'm just going to come through here and I'm going to create that basket of apples. So I'm just going to come across like this, again using these little dots. And it kind of flares out right there on the end, like that. Come back in here, grab this white, and let's create this basket through here. Just a little bit of that white. See, it's just a series of little tiny dots through there. That's all that is. Alright, now we'll come back in here and we'll get our permanent red. What I'm going to do is I'm going to touch it where those apples are at. I'm just going to touch. I don't know whether they're apples or what they are, honestly. I'm going to grab some of this orange, and right where I touched everything with that red, touch that orange. Touch that orange. Then I'll come back in. I'm going to grab this deep yellow right here. I'm going to touch everything again. Now, up close, when you're on top of it, you won't see the fruit. But when you get far away from it, then you will see the fruit. Alright, now I'm going to pull this out. See that color is being created right there? All I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to kind of brush that in right through there. like so. Going to brush it in through here, like that, to create a shadow below that basket. Pull it across right here. And pull back. Just like that. Now, right in here, we'll grab this, we'll pull back through here, like so. I want to create a little light down in here, so we'll create a little light in that area. Grab a little bit of white, lightly brush it in there, and create that little bit of light in there, just like so. That easy. Now, we'll grab a little bit of this black right here. Just grab a little bit. I'm going to edge my basket. I'm going to edge this rack. And that area right there, it's done. It's finished. All right. So now we have to put the lantern and the lights up here. So how we're going to do that, clean this brush. We'll grab our flat brush again. We'll grab a little bit of this permanent red on the flat brush. I'm just going to come create that lantern. So all I'm going to do to create the lantern is I'm going to pull this up like so. Pull this up like so. And pull that up right there. Put a bottom on the lantern. Put a top on it. And it's basically done. So not much more we have to do that. Add a little darkness in here. A little darkness, my old friend. And then we'll put a little bit of light on it. We're going to put some light on the inside of it. And it's done. Now we got this cage over here. A little tricky to do with what we're doing here. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to come up here like so. Come up here like so on this side. And put a little curve at the top like so. Alright. That's all I'm going to do with that. Now, using this brush here, okay, that's our number 6 round brush. I'm going to come in here, grab this white on that very tip. Notice how pointed that tip is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to touch it, and I'm going to create these impressions of light. Little tiny lights. Just like so. Go through here. Just little tiny impressions of light. Just like that. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to put some lights down here. Just a string of lights that somebody just threw up there on the mantle. They just threw it up there. They didn't care. No, they cared. That's why they threw it up there. They wanted to decorate, and this is how they decorate. They put these little lights up here on the mantle. Just like so. And then they came down and they dropped some lights down the side here. Little boring twinkling lights down the side. Couple lights hitting the boot there. Or the Christmas stocking, rather, excuse me. Called it a boot because it looks like a boot. And then we have some lights that are coming off the mantle here. And they're working their way down the side of the fireplace. Okay, so now we have lights around the fireplace. I'll bring a couple lights down through here. Alright, so now we have lights hanging off the fireplace and around the fireplace. Now, our next step is to get some presents in there. So what we're going to do, I'll clean this brush. What we're going to do is we're going to use this brush here. And this is going to put our presents into the picture. So we're using that permanent red. I'm going to come over here with this white. Mix that permanent red into that white. Got a kind of pinky color there. I'm going to smooth it out. Like so. And I'm going to start putting presents under the tree. I'm going to become Santa Claus. So I'm going to come up here. Put my first present under the tree. You know, it's funny, my dad was a very generous individual. He was extremely generous. Us kids didn't want for anything. If we needed it, he made sure that we got it. He was a pretty amazing individual. For a man that did odd jobs most of his life, he never seemed to be lacking for money, and he never seemed to be lacking for helping us children out. And but when it came to Christmas and birthdays, it was really funny. My dad was raised a Baptist, but Christmas and birthday times, he became a Seventh-day Adventist. He had this adversity to buying Christmas presents or birthday presents. I don't know what it is. Like I said, we didn't want for anything. He would get us whatever we wanted. He was great about it. But boy, I'm telling you what, when it came to Christmas and birthdays, yep, he turned into a Seventh-day Adventist. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. He converted so fast it wasn't even funny. But that's just the way he was. So, we're going to put plenty of presents underneath the tree. I'm going to say most of them came from my dad. That ought to aggravate him. He should roll over in his grave on that. So, we'll put these presents underneath the tree. Now, you notice I'm just making these shapes right now as we're doing this. The reason being is I'm going to come back in. We're going to make that a big one. We're going to come back in and we're going to use little points of color to create all the individual presents. But for right now, my main concern is to get the general shape of the presents in here. So that's what we're doing. We're getting a general shape of all the presents in. This is going to be a big one too. We're going to make this a big one. That's a big present right there. There's going to be all sorts of presents under this tree. So many presents you ain't going to be able to count them all. Somebody's going to have a very good Christmas. I hope it's you. All right. Let's put a little one down here like this. Put that little one in there, and then we'll put another big one up in here. Well, not big, about medium size. We'll put a medium size one in there. See, that's a lot of presents. Santa Claus really liked this household a lot. I don't blame him. They got a pretty tree. I kind of like them myself. If I knew these people, I'd buy them presents. No, actually, I think if I knew these people, I'd be asking for some of their presents. They got more than enough. They can share a little bit, right? Let's get another big one in here. Let's put it right here. Actually, let's put it on an angle. Let's kind of lean this one. We'll just lean that one. And we'll put a present right here in front of it. Like so. And just slowly work our way back around over this direction. Now, it's going to come a point here where I stop with the presents. And it's coming up pretty close. Because we still have that window to deal with. No, I didn't forget about the window. We still have to deal with that. But, let's get the rest of our presents in here and then we can deal with the window. Put one right there. Oh no, I'm getting pretty close to liking the amount of presents we have. I think I'm about there. I think we're good on presents now. I'll put a couple more small ones in here. I'm going to put one right here. Yeah, we'll stick one right there. And I put a little tiny one right here. Okay, so there's all our Christmas presents. Now, I'll clean this brush. I'm going to come in with my nice little flat brush that we've used quite a bit during this. I'm going to start creating these presents. Now I need to get some more white here. There's going to be a lot of white in doing this. Got a little bit of paint on the side of my hand. Imagine that. So, I'm going to grab this white, just right on the end of this brush. I'm going to start with this present here, and what I'm going to do, using a series of little tiny dots, I'm going to create this present under this tree. So we're going to come across here like so. Come over here like this. Grab a little bit of this red. Throw in here like that. Then I'm going to put a bow on top. And that present is done. See how we did that? I just dabbed the brush on there. It's actually a series of little tiny dots in there that's creating this. We're going to do it again. Come here. Get a little bit darker on this side here. Come over here. I'll come straight across the top right here. Grab a little bit of white. And that present's done. Now in this next one, I think we'll grab a little bit of this orange. And come up one side. Go drop it in there. Take some of the paint out of the brush. Grab a little bit of the white over the orange. Didn't get enough white there. And then create my bow on top. A little more orange here. And we got that one done. Come in next package. Darken it. Grab a little bit of this. And touch of white. And we got another package done. You see how, oops, I'm getting paint on me. If you don't get messy, you're not an artist. That's just how it is. You see we're starting to create these shapes here. Now, we're going to go through on each package and using the dots, we're going to create the shape of each package. It's also going to create the pattern on the package. You know, gift wrap. You don't have to get real detailed here. That's not the idea. That's not what you're wanting to do. This one here, I think I'm going to go a little darker with. Yeah, we'll go just a little bit darker here. And we'll create each individual package as we go through here. Just using this series of little dots. We want, I think I'll grab some of this Algerian crimson on this one. We need a, I'm thinking we need a striped package in there, don't you? I think so. Let me put a bow on this. And we'll do a striped package. So I'm going to grab some of this deep yellow here. We're going to stripe that package. Alright. We'll grab the deep yellow again and right next to it, we'll create our next package. Need a ribbon up here. And you can see how all of these are starting to take shape. They're all red packages, but each one is individual and each one is different. And all I'm doing is I'm using this brush to create these little tiny dots as we do this. Need a ribbon on this one. Let's grab some yellow on this one. Just a little bit of yellow. Create our ribbon. And we'll come back again. We'll come back in with some white down here. Haven't done white in a little bit. Create a ribbon. Let's do some white on this one. Grab some of my permanent red. Pat through here. Put a ribbon on it. What's going to be fun is when you see how these packages actually come together. You may not be able to tell much right now, but here in a second you're going to be able to tell a whole lot. Kind of excited for you to see it. Like I said, just a series of little dots. That's all you need. Don't try to get fancy with this. Just go in and put these little dots in. Use your best judgment. If it looks right to you, then definitely do it. If it don't look right to you, don't do it. Your packages are going to look a lot different than my packages. I guarantee you that. Okay. Once you get to the point where you're liking your packages, where you're liking how they're looking, what you're going to do next is you're going to define those packages. Now, I'm really happy right now with how everything here is looking. How it's come together. I got my packages. So now I'm going to define them. Come back here. Where is it at? Oh, I lost it. There it is. Coming back here and using this brush here. It has that nice little point on it. What I want you to do is I want you to edge your packages. Fluff out your ribbons on top. Come back in and edge the next package. Fluff the ribbons on top. And edge your next package. See how we're picking up some color there from the package next to it? We're squaring off the edge. We're fluffing our ribbon. Come down, we're going to do that on each package. We're going to square off the package. Fluff the ribbon. Square the package off. Don't get in a hurry here. Patience is your virtue. Fluff the ribbon. Square the package. Fluff the ribbon. Square off the package. Fluff your ribbon. Square the package. Fluff your ribbon. Square off your package. Fluff your ribbon. You see what's starting to happen here? Your packages are starting to separate. You got separate packages down there. Square your package off. Fluff your ribbon. Square the package. This is my favorite package underneath the tree because it reminds me of the package I'm going to be giving to my wife for Christmas. I would tell you what she's getting, but you might go back and tell her, so I'm not sharing it. You'll just have to wait until a later video. I'll tell you in a later video what she got. But you don't get to find out in this one, sorry. Ha 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 ha. Okay, square your package off. Fluff your ribbon. See how all that's starting to work? I'm going to get a little paint off my brush here. Square your package. And fluff your ribbon. It's really starting to look very pretty. Nice little packages under the tree. Renoir style packages. I'm going to get some of that off there. We'll square out the package. Oh, we got one here we didn't square. We got to get that one. Fluff the ribbon. Now, almost there. You see we're getting all these packages squared off. And fluff the ribbon. Fluff the ribbon. Square the package. Fluff your ribbon. Okay, now, once you get all that done, this is the tricky part here, guys. Okay, you still have your paint in the end of that brush, right? Take some of it out. Come back up here to your green. Once you come in here with this darker green, and behind these packages, won't you just tap that darker green in there? It's okay if you pick up some of the color from the packages. That's absolutely fine. But here around the base of this tree, I want this darker green in here. Just kind of tap it in there. Using that same brush, just come down in here and tap that in. You want that darker area down in there of green, because these packages would create a shadow down there around that base, so you definitely want that darker color down there. Just make sure you get it tapped in there good. Try not to override the edge of your packages when you do this. Okay, once you're in there good with that, next thing I want you to do is I want you to clean this brush. Make sure you clean this brush. Come over here. We need to pull a couple of these brushes out of this container here. We'll drop them over here in our hold thinner. If you remember from the first video, there's a glass container that holds our thinner that we're not using at the time. We'll go get this brush clean. It's getting ready to perform a very important duty here. So we definitely want it clean. Alright. We're going to grab a little bit of white here, right on that tip. Remember that tip's pointed, right? Grab a little bit of white right on there. Remember the ribbons on the packages? We're going to define those ribbons. Use a little bit of white. We're just going to come in here and we're going to define them. So you're just going to kind of use a little bit of white. We're just going to kind of brush them a little bit. We actually want these kind of separated a little bit from what's around them. So we're just going to kind of touch it. We're going to go down here, we're going to do that on each package. Where you brush the ribbons up, brush white over the top of that. Just come down here and do it on each package. Just brush that white over the top of it. Now you're getting ready to find out exactly how important this brush is to the end of this painting. Because yes, we're coming towards the end. This brush is extremely important as we finish this painting. Let's just get these little ribbons on the top of the packages here. Just brush them in there. Brush up a little bit. The next video that I'm going to be doing is actually an intro to painting. We are going to be talking about different canvases, different mediums, different brushes, different ways to use those brushes. This next video is not necessarily going to be a painting, but it's going to talk about how to do paintings. And you definitely do not want to miss that one, because if you're really interested in painting, whether it be watercolor, whether it be oil or acrylic, the next video is the one you really want to watch, and it's going to come to you after Christmas, okay? I believe it's the day after Christmas. I believe it's 26th. Be sure to tune in for that one, because it's going to be a very important video. You're going to learn a whole lot about the different canvases, the different mediums, the oils, the acrylics, the watercolors, the papers. There's a whole lot that you're going to learn when we do that video. So please, please, please be sure to tune into that video. If you want to know everything that you need to know to really get you started on whether it be oil painting, watercolors, or acrylics, tune in for that video, because it is going to help you. It's going to be an introduction to painting, and I think you'll find it very informative. So let's work on this and getting this finished. Okay, so I grabbed a little bit of the white on this brush. Come back in here, remember our candles? And see, we brighten those candles up just a little bit more just by doing that. Now, down here, we got to add shade and shadow down below this, okay? So all we're going to do, I'm not going to clean this brush out to do this. If you look at the original, you can see that there's shadow down here below. It's also a lantern. We'll get to the lantern. We're not there yet, but we're just going to grab this brown with the brush that we already have and kind of mix it up here a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here with the same brush that we just did the packages with. I'm going to come down here and we'll come on the edge of the packages. And I'm going to blend back into our floor color. Now, once I get started, remember our light source is over here, right? So then I'm going to reverse this. We're going to come back this direction. Grab a little more of our burnt sienna. Come right up in here. The reason why we're using this brush is because it lets you, with that point on there, lets you get into some pretty tight places, which you need to do for this particular maneuver. Yes, it's a maneuver. Sounds like, we're invading a country or something. For this maneuver, we need to go in here and we need to ransack the packages. Need to take all those packages completely out, rip them to shreds. They won't stand a chance. So that's the maneuver we're pulling. It's a Christmas morning maneuver. I'm sure you've seen plenty of photographs and videos and probably even taken part in a few of them. So you see, we're just coming in here and we're just creating a little shadow under the packages. Just by using that little point on that brush. A little tiny point on that brush. Come across. Once we get the edge of the package, just brush it back. Then blend it back over this direction. You want it soft. You don't want this harsh at all. You want it very soft. Get this here. Come down. Blend it over. Just blend it over just like that. Okay. Now we're at that point. We got our shadow underneath the packages. What we're going to do now is we need to do this window seal right here. Okay? So the way we're going to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brush without cleaning it. Okay? You can see the shadow that's coming up here. I'm going to come across right here. That is the molding down at the bottom of the floor. I'm going to come here and I'm going to just kind of lightly brush this up into there. Just like that. Okay? Once I get that lightly brushed in there, grab my white. And you see I'm using this brush here. This is how important this brush is for the end of this painting. Come across here, across the top of that molding. We're going to just brush that up into there. A little bit more of that white. Brush that white all the way up here. Now, Renoir, quite often, when he was working, he did exactly what we've been doing. We've actually been using a Renoir method without you even knowing that you've been using it. Through this entire painting we've used it. And that is not cleaning the brush. He did not like cleaning his brushes. And so he would pick up one color from another color. And if you look closely at his paintings, you can see that he's picked up colors from all across his painting into one area. He'll go into one area and all these colors will be in there that were someplace else in the painting. We've done that a lot in this painting. I did that deliberately while we were doing this. You can see there's other colors picked up through different areas here. That is all a Renoir style technique. Now, we're going to go, and we're just going to come right up through here like so, very carefully. We're going to pick up some of the black as we come up through there, and that's fine. We want to do that. We're just going to very carefully, we're going to pull our brush up through here. And we're going to create the framework of the window just by using color that's already in the brush and the color that's already at the window. We're just going to pull right up through here all the way to the top. just like so. And then I'll come back over here and come across like this. I told you this brush would be important. We're going to do it again right here. Just come right across like this. If you get a chance, go in and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is Artist Alley Studio and Gallery, and the address on YouTube is youtube.com/c/@Artist Alley Studio. Pretty simple. Edge right up through here, like so. I'm going to carefully pull this through here, like this. Now, I'm going to clean some of this out of my brush here. Just pull some of that out of the brush, like so. I don't want to create this frosting on the glass. We'll do it all through here. I want to create this light frosting on the glass. Come up here. This frosting is the glow from the tree, which is what you'd see if the inside house is glowing on darkened windows. You'd see a light frosting on there. So I'm just creating this frosting on the glass. And once I'm satisfied with that frosting, I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to grab some of my black, and I'm going to edge these. So I'm just going to come across here like this and edge this out. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to come across and I'm going to edge this out. Kind of blend it back a little bit. Same way here. Edge that out. Edge this out. Throw some of the black up in there. I'm going to edge this out. Edge this one out right here. And come up here and edge this out. Okay, now that I have that window done and defined, I need to clean the brush. We'll grab my alizarin crimson. Grab that little bit of that alizarin crimson here. Come down on the edge of my curtain. And that finishes out my curtain. Window's finished. Curtain is finished. Now I got to put the reflection of the lights in the window. Cleaning my brush over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do with that, well, I may have to go back and clean again because I saw something here. Okay. We have the reflections of the light off of the tree in the window here. So what I'm going to do, I got that little point on that brush, right? I'm going to grab a little bit of the white here on the end of the brush, and then I'm just going to put my lights in. I'm just going to drop those lights in there. Just randomly place them. Go all the way up. Then come through here, grab a little bit of the yellow, and I'm going to hit these lights up through here. Let's go right over the top of them with the yellow. Little points of light. Little points of light through there. Now, once I get my light reflections in there, my next step, go clean the brush here. My next step is to put little points of light on the tree. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of the white. And every so often I'm going to put little points of light in here. Little tiny points of light. I'm not going to put a lot in here, okay, because we already have a lot of light going on, but I want to put these little tiny dots of light every so often into the tree. This creates a little bit of drama in the tree. You know, I like drama. So I create drama in my paintings wherever I can. That's the only place where I like to create drama. I don't like drama in real life. You know, I don't have time, I don't have use for it. So we put our little tiny dots of light in there. Oh, look at that. We're just about there, guys. We got to put our lantern that's right here. We actually have two lanterns there. I don't know if I want to put the second one. I'm going to put the first one in first, and then I'll decide on the second one. So I'm going to grab some of the burnt sienna. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to create the shape of that lantern. So I'll just pull up like this on this area right here. And I just want to know right where that lantern is. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm just using this brush to do that. Okay. Now that I know where the lantern is, I'm going to get rid of this brush. We'll grab our flat brush. Our little 3/8 flat brush here. Has a little bit of red in it. I think I'm going to leave that red when I do this lantern. It should make a interesting look. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to put the lantern in. So the lantern is right here, like so. Comes up on this side right here. It's right by the fireplace. I don't think I'm going to put that other lantern in. I think I'm just going to leave it at this one. Okay, the top is right here. I know you can't see much right now, but you will in a second. I'm going to grab the black. Watch. Watch that lantern appear right before your eyes. Look at that, like magic. It wasn't there a second ago, and all of a sudden, voila, there it is. We'll put the bell top on the lantern. Last thing we need to do with that little lantern is we need to put a light on the inside. Get its little light to shine there. So we'll clean out the brush. And let's see, let's grab a little bit of white here. Grab a little bit of yellow. We'll just pull that down a little bit on that side. And there it is. There's our little lantern there next to the hearth. Now, last thing I have to do is I'm going to pull some color out of here and blend some color back. So the way I do that is right through here. We'll blend a little bit of this back. And then over. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I need to blend a little bit of this down and over. Just like so. Let's see, any place else I need to do that? I don't think so. Looks pretty good. So, I would like to see your works in progress. So go to facebook.com, join our Facebook group, The Artist Life Creations. Let me see what you're doing. I would like you to join me here next week, day after Christmas, when I go in and we talk about the supplies that you need to do beautiful paintings, whether it be watercolor, whether it be acrylic, or whether it be oil. That will be our painting class next week. We won't be doing a painting. We'll be talking about what you need in order to do a painting. Then it's New Year's, and our one right after New Year's is called Wichita Sunset. We're all getting a little bit of cabin fever. We're all fed up with Christmas, so we're gonna get a nice little summer sunset scene, just right smack dab in the middle of Christmas. Get this done. In this painting, we use techniques used by Monet, used by Van Gogh, and used by Renoir to create the painting. Once your painting dries and it don't have its sheen, there's a sheen that happens on a painting when it's first done. Once your painting's dry, set it up, take about 10 feet step back from it and take a look at it, and I think you'll be amazed at what you see. That's when your whole painting will actually come together. I enjoy doing these oils with you. I enjoy doing watercolors. I enjoy doing acrylics with you. They're always a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do right now is, so we can finish up, I'm going to put my signature on this little painting here. Get this little round brush right here. Let me put my signature on here. I am going to use the Alizarin Crimson. And I'm just going to go, I don't want to use that brush. Changed my mind. I want to use the flat brush for this. So, let me clean off the flat brush. Get that Alizarin Crimson. I'm going to do my J. There's my J. Put my A on here. And I'm going to put my G. Let's stop the G. Then I use 2. That's the other part of the G, and put my other 2 in there for 22. And my painting is signed. And I'm going to enlarge myself here so I can talk to you. There we go. So be sure to stay tuned to the end of this video where you can see a photograph of the painting so that you can see how it actually looks. It's kind of hard in this video to see how the finished piece looks, but in the photograph at the end of the video, you'll be able to see exactly how it looks. Be sure to visit our website for more tutorials and for more artwork at www.artist-alley.net. That's www.artist-alley.net. Check out our Instagram page, Artist Alley Studio and Gallery. It's at Artist Alley, A-L-Y Studio. Artist, A-L-Y Studio. That's on Instagram. That's also Facebook. We have that. We have our page on Facebook, which is The Art of the Gypsy. So I'm sure you can find that pretty easy. It's The Artist's Life. And like our page. Go follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're all over social media, and you can follow us almost anywhere. I enjoy doing the paintings with you. I always tell you that, but I seriously do enjoy doing the paintings with you. I love showing you these techniques. We did something a little different on this oil painting in that we did some impressionist stuff with it. So, which was really interesting, really a lot of fun to do. I enjoyed doing it. Be sure to have a very Merry Christmas with your family and friends. The day is about not gift giving, but giving the gift of yourself. So be sure you do that with your family and friends. Remember what the day is about. Christmas Day is about the birth of Jesus Christ, our Savior, who came into the world to die for our sins, but he came in as a humble baby. And that's actually, more than anything else, that's what we should be celebrating, the birth of Jesus Christ the Savior. And make sure that you celebrate that with your family and friends, because that's the best way to do it, trust me. So, until next week, this is your friendly neighborhood gypsy saying, may God bless and keep you and yours. Merry Christmas, my friends. Later, Gators. Bye-bye now.